What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to give you an overview of some of the data points, what really moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go down 1.71%, but more importantly, it did stay above $8. So that's kind of a good thing. We're going to talk on what that does mean, but I don't know, for those of you that were like myself that was watching this unfold, my jaw was dropped. I'm like, are these guys literally trying to bring it from $8.16 to sub $8? They tried. It kind of hit that 803 and then started to, I guess they partially gave up, but still crazy stuff. This is just very bold manipulation that does happen with SoFi. Kind of low volume, so 35.9 million shares being traded, 40.6 is the average. Roughly 6 million of that, though, just happened after hours. So that's correlated with options. I'm going to go over that in a second. No actual news from SoFi itself. SEC filings, there was a 144 that was filed at 10:11 a.m. this morning, which did signal this Jeremy is selling another 68,000 shares. So I've brought this up in the past. I guess this individual is going through clearly a very messy divorce. And so yeah, I guess you can kind of be negative on this or positive. I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. No real reason to sell SoFi or buy based on this information. If Anthony was to sell, then that would be a different story. But Jeremy going through a divorce, I'm sure some of you who have been through divorces, you kind of know it's messy and very costly. But still, aside from that, that's basically the only stuff that really came out associated to SoFi today. Just the broader market was still trying to digest exactly what that 50 basis point and potential rate cuts as well do mean for the broader market. Does it mean a recession is coming? Does that mean that we're going to see higher highs, that consumer buying power is increasing? Those are the questions that the market is trying to digest right now. And based on the November 7th, it does signal another roughly about 50 basis point, 25 as well, following for the December 18th meeting. So there's a lot more cuts anticipated. So once again, a lot of people are trying to digest exactly what that does truly mean, because I know historically kind of we're at a pivot. Arguments could be made for both sides saying that this is a precursor for a recession. Some are saying that there's no justified reason for that we're going to head higher. So what is your thoughts on that? As far as shorts, so shorts did surprisingly return 1.45 million shares. They were returning roughly around 2 million shares up until the tail end, so they did really increase and kind of started to buy back some near the tail end of the day. So they were kind of the culprits for this right here. On the secondary market, you do see some of these transactions. So basically this group right here, that is all what caused this sell-off. So big money is the culprit. Unfortunately, I don't have access to see exactly who these transactions are. I know under my old broker with Scotia, I was able to see the actual routing codes. I can kind of see limited numbers as of right now. So if anyone has access to that, then I highly recommend you guys trying to find out who these entities were, because it's very obvious that these are the same entities that are shorting it. But nonetheless, though, shorts did return 1.45 million shares net. 18.5% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 193.45 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 0.93% as well. So all in all, pretty interesting day. So let me know your thoughts on that. Options. So I think this is clearly the focal point for today. The fact that it did close above $8, 9.46 million in calls, 5.78 million in puts. Sentiment wise though, 66% of all the options being done today were bearish. And basically this is the current open interest. So you do have roughly 18,000 at that 7, 13,000 at the 750. It did go down, so some people have been kind of closing it out, but 43,000, or again rolling over, but 43,000 at that 8. So you do see a lot of transactions occurring after hours right here. So 19.2, 1.01, 1.9, 1.7. I'll hit refresh just to see if there is any others. There is a lot more actually. So you can kind of see just a lot of big transactions. This no doubtably, and I get it, that's not a real word. I keep saying that, no doubtably. My apologies. I like to make up stuff sometimes, but clearly this is just market makers covering those options. So you might see a little bit bumping up on the stock price first thing on Monday, but it looks like a lot of them are being covered today. So that's why you do see it up after hours. And then basically right now with it closing at 805 is right above this R2. So 802 is that strong support. So just watch for that going forward into the next couple of trading days. And then on the flip side, $8.40. Didn't really come close to that today. But stay tuned for my video this upcoming weekend on some full expectations for SoFi, support resistance points, and things to kind of keep in mind for this upcoming week. But today was more of a consolidation day. Nothing really wrong with that. Stochastic is still considered very overbought at 79. You do see a start of a bearish deviation, so red line above the white, and number of retail investors were kind of getting out today. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on SoFi. The technicals, I think, could consolidate a little bit more. Aside from this 802, you have 779 as the following support. So in my opinion, it could definitely bounce off of that and really trend higher. They do have their earnings coming up. I don't believe it's actually been, the date has been slated, but a lot of people generally know it is coming up. Even says right here, roughly around 39 days. So yeah, I think that should have another run leading into their earnings, and then usually a sell-off does follow. But yeah, what's your thoughts on SoFi? What's your thoughts on, for instance, shorts returning quite a lot over this last week? And so ever since it looks like it peaked at on September the 13th at 19.29 or 26%. So it hasn't really gone down dramatically as much as I would have anticipated, but still, I guess it's improvements. And what is your thoughts on this BS right here? Like, were you as shocked as I was, or I guess is it just normal now? But no matter what though, a win is a win. So SoFi was able to stay above 8. That's more important than anything. And then you see a lot of buying happening after hours. So let me know your thoughts. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend ahead of them. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.